Now see this question. It is saying during the year ended 31st March 2020, subscriptions received were rupees 21 lakh. These subscriptions include rupees 30,000 for the year ended 31st March 19 and rupees 40,000 for the year ending 31st March 2021. On 31st March 20, subscriptions due but not received were rupees 50,000. Corresponding amount on 1st April 19 was rupees 60,000. Determine the amount that should be credited to the income and expenditure account as subscriptions for the year ended 31st March 2020. So first we will see which one is the current year, which one is the previous year, and which one is the next year. Because these terms are not used in this question, years are mentioned. So we have to decide what is our current year. So current year is first thing that 31st March 2020 information is given, and it is also asking for the income and expenditure of 31st March 2020. So the current year will be 1920 and the previous year will be 31st March 2019 and the next year will be 31st March 2021 according to that. So after deciding that, you should proceed in the question. So first information which we need is that what is the total amount of subscription received during the current year. It can be relating to any year, but we have to check what is the total amount of subscription received during the year. During the year 1920, because it is our current year. So the amount received is 21 lakh. Now it includes 30,000 for the year ended 31st March 19. So means we have received 30,000 for the last year. So that need to be subtracted less subscriptions received for the year 2018-19 and that amount is 30,000. Then again we have received some amount for the next year that will also be not part of the current year income. So subscription received for the year 2020-21. For the next year we have received rupees 40,000. So that's why this will also be deducted from it. And that's why the total amount will be 70,000. So now it will become 20 lakh 30,000. 20 lakh 30,000. Now we have to add the subscription. Due for the current year or we should write subscription outstanding for the year 2019-20. The outstanding amount we will add. Now see the sentence carefully, what it is saying. We have to analyze these languages properly. Now see this sentence. It is saying On 31st March 2020, subscriptions due but not received. Subscription due but not received means again outstanding subscription, or you can say subscription receivable, rupees 50,000. And this is the position that subscription outstanding on 31st March, as on 31st March. But what we need is subscription due for the year. The words here are for the year. Means we need totally current year outstanding only. But if it is written sometimes that on 31st March 2020, subscription outstanding were rupees 50,000. So sometimes it may include last year outstanding also. How it may include the last year outstanding amount also? For that, you should see the next sentence first. It is saying corresponding amount. What is corresponding amount? Corresponding amount means that outstanding subscription for the last year. Because right now the sentence was telling you about the outstanding subscription of current year. So its corresponding amount will be outstanding subscription for the last year. Corresponding amount on 1st April 19. Now this date is there on 1st April 19. Means it is the opening date of the current year. And opening balance of current year means that it is the closing balance of the last year. So this amount is actually outstanding of last year. Just a minute. So what is the amount of last year outstanding? That you first tell me. Chat box is open. You please tell me what is the amount of last year outstanding subscription. Read the question carefully. Yes. The more you will participate, the more you will learn. Yes. Yes, very good, very good. So the amount of last year outstanding is rupees 60,000. And how much amount I have received out of this 60,000 in the current year? Yes, very good. Let's see how many of you can answer. Read the question carefully. Yes, 2 answers are correct. No. See, here it is written. If you will see this point, this is totally written in the question. Now it is clear. So out of 60,000, which was outstanding last year, outstanding of last year, I should write it here so that you will be clear about outstanding subscription of 2018-19. It was 60,000. However, I have received in 1920. Out of the 60,000, I have received rupees 30,000 in the current year. Now, how much amount I have not received? If I have received 30,000 out of 60,000, then till now not received not received is 30,000. So can I say it also outstanding subscription? If it is still outstanding, can I say it as outstanding subscription? Now, it is outstanding as on 31st March 2020. It is outstanding as on, am I correct? Outstanding as on 31st March 2020. Now see this language, what it is saying. There are two languages. One is for the year and one is as on 31st March 2020. So this language is saying that on 31st March 2020, subscriptions due but not received, that is subscription outstanding, were rupees 50,000. So on 31st March, your subscriptions are outstanding for rupees 50,000. So this language is implying that in this 50,000, this 30,000 amount is also being included, which is belonging to the last year. And for solving this question, for finding out the income, this is the amount received for last year, and this is the amount outstanding for the last year. And this amount is already included in the amount outstanding as on 31st March 2020. But for finding out the current year income, what I need the amount outstanding for the current year only. That's why what I will do, out of this 50,000, I will subtract the amount, this one. I'm subtracting this one 30,000. Don't get confused with the other 30,000. So I will add this 20,000 only. So this will become 20,50,000. So I have subtracted this 30,000 from the 50,000, which was total amount outstanding due. So current year outstanding will be 20,000 only. And that I will add, and I will find out the income, which should be going to the income and expenditure account. And we will write it subscription for the year ended 31st March 2020 to be credited to the income and expenditure account. And I hope this calculation is totally clear now. If you still have any confusion, you can ask first. That will be deducted, and the subscription received for the next year, that will be deducted. Subscription outstanding for the current year will be added, and subscription received, if any, Last year you have received any amount for the current year. Last year advance any amount you have received, that will be also added here. But because this is not given in the question, that's why we are not adding that. But you have to be careful for this sentence in every question, that what amount is due for the current year. Whether it is, if it is saying for the year 31st March 2020, subscriptions due but not received for rupees 50,000, then this 50,000 would have been the current year outstanding subscription also only. But because the word is used on, so on 31st March 2020, actually two amounts are outstanding now. One is this 20,000, that is of the current year, and one is this 30,000, that is of the last year. So that's why it is becoming 50,000 outstanding as on 31st March. This point is to be noted carefully, and you have to be careful regarding these this language given in the question. Okay, now we will practice another question. It is saying subscription received during the year ended 31st March 2020 are. So again, you have received this subscription in the year 1920. So 1920 will be your current year. Then 1819 will be your previous year, and 2021 will be your next year. This type of information you will usually get in the receipt and payment account, segmenting them in three sections. So for the last year, you have received rupees 4,000. It is clearly mentioned here. For the current year, 1920, you have received rupees 2,11,000. And for the next year, you have received rupees 8,000. So total amount of subscription received is 2,23,000. Now some other information is also given in the question. There are 450 members, each paying an annual subscription of rupees 500. So there are 450 members of the organization, and each member is contributing annually rupees 500 to the organization. Rupees 4,500 were in arrears for the year ended 31st March 2019. So this is last year outstanding amount. In the beginning of the year ended 31st March, there is some mistake. Were in arrears for the year ended 31st March 19. In the beginning of the year ended 31st March 2020. Yes, fine. Calculate subscriptions to be shown in income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2020, and also show the treatment of subscription in the income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Okay, so we will first start with the amount received. Should shift it to the next page. So in the income side, I will write here by subscription. And the amount received is 2,23,000. Then we can, we have received rupees 4,000 for the last year, that we will be subtracting minus received for last year, or you can write the year here 2018-19. $4,000 we have received. So we will subtract it. That will become 2,19,000. Then for the next year, we have received rupees 8,000 in advance. That will also be subtracted here. received for 2020-21. We have received rupees 8,000 for the next year. That will also be subtracted from here. So now the amount will be 2,11,000. So for the current year, we have received rupees 2,11,000. And you can see here also the amount received for the current year is given 2,11,000. So we can, in such questions, means we can start directly from this point also. That I want to show you here. Now one more thing. The total number of members are 450. And each member is contributing rupees 500 for the 1 year. So what should be the total amount of income for the current year? Yes, very good. It should be 2,25,000. And in such questions, this is the amount only which can be written in the income and expenditure account as subscription. Because this is the total amount of income for the current year. Whether you have received out of this amount, some amount last year, you have not received some amount in the current year. So, but you have received till now only 2,11,000 for the current year. So what is the amount outstanding for the current year then? Yes, 14,000 will be the outstanding subscription. And I should use the words for the current year. For the current year 2019-20. This is the amount of subscription outstanding for the current year, and it will be for the current year because out of the current year income, I have deducted only the amount received for the current year. That's why this is the amount of income outstanding for the current year. So that I will be adding here. Plus outstanding subscription for 2019-20, and that will be 14,000. So it will become 2,25,000. It is income and expenditure account for the year ended March 31, 2020. And I hope this point is clear now. One more way is there for attempting such question. What we could have done. We can directly write here 2,11,000 by subscription 2,11,000, and we will just add this outstanding subscription of the current year 14,000, and the total income will be again there 2,25,000. These two eliminations I have done only for your clarity purpose. Sometimes students may get confused that why we are not deducting these amounts here when we were deducting it earlier also. 14,000 is asset and 8,000 is liability. Yeah, we will be discussing these assets and liabilities just a minute. So I hope these 2 points are also clear, that we don't need to attempt these two in such questions when the informations are given you separately also. and you can directly calculate the current year outstanding. In that situation, you don't need to eliminate them. It is already eliminated if you are taking this amount of 2,11,000 for the current year only. But usually we start from this amount. That's why I have shown it to you that way also, that how you will be attempting it. Now we have to represent them in balance sheet also. So now see, one more point is there, that you just tell me what is the amount of outstanding last year, outstanding subscription last year. Read the question carefully and just tell me what is the amount of outstanding subscription last year. I am again saying, read the question carefully. You are telling me the amount which we have received for the last year outstanding. I am asking the total amount of subscription outstanding last year. Yes, it was 4,500. It is mentioned here, rupees 4,000 were in arrears for the year ended 31st March 2019. And out of this 4,500, we have received only 4,000. Out of this 4,500, we have received only 4,000. So what will be the, now listen my question carefully again. You just tell me outstanding subscription as on 31st March 2020. Subscription outstanding as on 31st March 2020. It will be 14,000 plus the amount of subscription outstanding for last year till now. I have used the word as on. I have not used the word for. Subscription outstanding as on 31st March 2020 will be this year outstanding subscription plus last year outstanding subscription. Because last year amount outstanding was 4,500 and we have received only 4,000. So 500 will be outstanding from that also. And if I ask you outstanding subscription for 2019-20, then what will be your answer? Outstanding subscription for 2019-20. That will be 14,000, sorry. So now I hope these two differences are clear to you.